Hey everybody, welcome back. Devin, the OG original Grognard, continuing our playthrough, stepping into turn 4 of Arab-Israeli Wars, refighting the Battle of Abu Ageila, part of our Key to the Sinai, the Battle for Abu Ageila in 3 mediums. What did I have? I didn't have much to go over before we jump into this playthrough. I actually don't think I messed up any rolls in the last video. That's a rarity, I know. I did want to say we finally hit 700 subscribers to the channel, and I want to thank each and every one of you who have subscribed to me. For a guy who started out with a podcast a couple 3 years ago and figured he'd be lucky if he'd get 25 people listening to it, the fact that I have 700 subscribers on the YouTube channel is just absolutely mind-blowing and mind-boggling. Couple people have asked, well, why don't you ever say, like the channel, subscribe to the channel? Why? If you like what I do and you want to subscribe. I'm not going to say it every friggin' episode. That actually annoys the hell out of me when I'm watching stuff that I've subscribed to, and they're always saying, like and subscribe to the video. It's like, listen, if you're good enough, you don't need to say anything for me to subscribe to it. I don't know. That's just the way I reckon it. Anyway, so this is actually we're getting probably to the tipping point right now. I'm going to try to get through 2 turns this shoot, and it may be the end of the video. Basically, I've been looking at the victory points. For the most part, the victory points is, destruction. Egyptians get points for destroying Israeli units. Israelis get points for destroying Egyptian units and exiting units off. Egyptian units, or Egypt also gets points for Israeli units left on the board at the end of the turn. However, with the casualties that's been inflicted so far, which is these guys right here, plus what I've gotten off, factoring in if none of these guys manage to make it off the board, because you got to remember they got to go all the way over there. It takes like 3 turns. I think by like turn 6, these guys really need to be getting back into the transports and blitzing out, which is kind of why I'm just trying to break through this little northern part here. Even with all those factored in, the Israelis are ahead in victory points. I think I calculated it, and I could have calculated it wrong, but even if none of these guys managed to make it off the board, and factoring in supposing these guys do, which is a very, very strong likelihood and very strong possibility, the Egyptians or the Israelis are up by 12 points already. Now, that's not a lot of points, granted, but I haven't taken into consideration Egyptian units destroyed, which are probably going to be everything on this half of the board. Those Centurions are going to get rolling again this turn. I think we're going to see a lot of units die. So being 12 points down, that's only 3 units that the Egyptians need to kill, which, as we've been seeing over here with how freaking deadly their artillery has been so far, not beyond the realm of possibility. However, I think in the next turn or two, we're probably going to see the real tipping point come where we get to a point where realistically the Egyptians have no chance of winning, but we're going to see what happens in a couple turns, or at the end of a couple turns, if I can get through a couple turns relatively quick. And if I'd shut the hell up and just start playing the game, I'd probably be able to get to it relatively quickly. Can't do that, can we? All right, so we're going to start off with the Israeli beginning of turn 4. Airstrikes, no airstrikes, artillery. All right, we got 3 off-board artillery. W7. Let's see, W1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And V7 and 8, which would be, okay, so those 3 guys right there are getting hit with artillery. Each one of them gets 10 points each. The artillery strike is 10 points. So we'll see what we got in here. 10 to 8, 10 to 8, 10 to 8. It's all 1-to-1 odds. Plus 2 for the improved position. So basically, I need a 1. Okay, nothing on the first one. Nothing on the second one. Nothing on the third one. Should probably have stacked my artillery up. No, that was right there. Let's go ahead and do this stack next. What do we got? Okay, so we got 2 at 1-1 against the infantry. Again, we're looking for 1s. Okay, nothing. Now 10-3 against the mortar is going to be 3-1, but again, it's an improved position, so it's a +2 on the dice roll. 4, 5, 6. That actually, I think, is a disrupted. 3-1, 6. Yep, that's a. Oh, dispersed. Oh my God. And no, I still haven't got my tweezers yet. I need to. All right. We got infantry, artillery, and mortars right there. 1-1 on the infantry. Again, at +2 odds, that's nothing. It is going to be 10-2, which is going to be a 5-1, which is a 4-1. On the 4, 5, 6, actually, that's going to disrupt them. And a 3-1 on the mortar at +2, which is 3, 4, 5, which is going to be disrupted as well. So it's dispersed. Ugh. I am trying really hard to keep with the actual game terms rather than what I refer to them in my head, because I know that tends to confuse people. I'm sorry. All right, artillery plotting for next turn. Okay, I think I'm probably going to be blowing through these guys this turn, but just in case, let's go ahead and hit artillery here, here, and here, which is X1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, X6. And Y, W, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, W7 again. And V, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, V7. All right. Shooting, Gerschutstein phase. Let's get the easy stuff over with first. Let's do the Centurions. So basically, you've got 5 Centurions left over here. 25 firepower, but it's doubled for armor piercing versus armored vehicles out to range of 6, which is what everything is. So we're looking at 50. And basically, I'm going to be killing... more than likely, I'm going to be killing 5 units. Maybe. Depends on... Oh, well, no, let's see. Let's first of all, we want to go after the big heavies. So let's take these 2 guys, and they're going to fire at these SUs. 1 at each one of the SUs. So 50-15 is going to be 3-1 odds. And it's going to be along the sand dune. So we're going to call that hull down. So it's going to give them +2. So it's going to be 1 because Soviet equipment. Egyptian armor only gets +1 for hull down. So it's going to be 3-1 at +1 here. It's going to be 3-1 straight up for this one because it's +1 for the hull down, -1 for already being dispersed. So we'll go for the first one, 3-1. There's a 1 that's going to kill it, or actually 1 + 1 is 2, still going to kill it. And then 3-1. Oh, 6 straight up. I think that's just a normal. Yeah, that's just a normal disruption. All right, so this IS is destroyed. Let's go ahead and throw a second wreck marker on there. But the disrupted unit remains disrupted. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and turn these guys 90 degrees because they have the shoot move option. So since they've shot, they can still move half their movement. So I'm just going to turn them, cock them, so I can remember that they do still have the option to move. Now, these guys right here, that's going to be again along the edge. So we got 1 trying to find all the big Soviet baddies. Okay, so basically they've got 2 big heavies left. The T-10s. So one of them is going to put a shell into this one. One of them is going to put a shell into this one. This one's going to be a straight shot, so no modifiers, but this one is going to get the hull down. I'm going to give it the hull down because it clips the dune edges. So it's going to be 50 to 11, which is going to be 4 to 1 odds. 4 to 1 straight, 4 to 1 plus 1. So we'll do the 4 to 1 straight. Is a 6. Wow, Egyptians are getting really lucky. 6 is going to disperse them. And the other one is going to be at a plus 1. That's 2 is going to be 3, which is going to kill it. And now I have to start breaking out my Panzerleiter wreck markers. And that goes there. And they've got one guy left, so he's just going to shoot down the pipe right straight down at one of the T-34s. 50 to 7. It's not quite 7 to 1. Well, let's see. No, it is going to be 7 to 1 odds. 49. Yeah. 7 to 1 odds. Wow. Yeah, 4. That's going to kill that one. So we've got not as many Egyptian units dead that turn. That is actually a bit distressing for the Israelis and rather thankful for the Egyptians. So again, we're going to cock those guys because they can still do the move if they want. Alright, so let's go back to over here. Gershooting. These guys, both my stacks of armor are not going to shoot. We are actually going to overrun with them. That's probably going to be a bad idea, but I haven't done any overruns in the video yet, so I want to show that off. So they're not going to move because they are overrunning. Now, the infantry. Oh, because that kind of backs me up. Well, let's go ahead and move the infantry anyways. Let's go ahead and move him here. Op fire. We got 6, 12 versus a defense of 8. Yeah, I got to put a lot of fire together. But you know what? You know what? The Egyptians are not. Yes, they are. They are going to fight. No. If I remember correctly, I laid my artillery right here with the Egyptian artillery. So I want those infantry to move closer. However, I forgot they've only got a movement of 1 and probably aren't going to make it. I'm an idiot. Maybe the armor will bumble into it. All right, so knowing that, we're not going to get very many op fires off, so let's go ahead and we'll go do those 2 guys. So it's going to be 12. And these 2 guys, for 12 more, is going to be 24 to 8, is going to be 3 to 1 odds against that one Israeli unit. 3 is going to disperse them. So they're going to go under the dispersal marker. Okay, what next? These guys will follow up right there. And what have I got left? I got 6, 12, 18. 6, 12, 18. We'll do these guys for 18. And this guy to bring it up to 24. So it's going to be 3 to 1 odds. And it's a 2. I think 3 to 1 at 2 is 3 to 1, 2. Ooh, it's a destroyed. Now, you remember what I was saying about needing to kill those 3 Israeli units? Well, now they're down to needing to kill only 2 more Israeli units to bring them to parity victory point-wise. I'm wondering if I should have left them in the half-tracks, because half-tracks are armored. Get up there, unloaded them right in front. I don't know. See, I have not played this game. I've not practically have not cracked this box in 20 years. And I was never that strong of an Arab-Israeli player anyways. And if you've seen my last video I did on Panzerleader 40 that I did, a year ago, you'll probably figure I'm not that strong of a Panzerleader player either. Happens when you don't play the game for years on end. Okay, so these guys are dispersed. A lot of dispersed Egyptians. Wow, a lot of dispersed Egyptians. All right, so this guy is going to... balls. He'll go ahead and move. Can he move into there? Nope, there's 4 units already there. Well, just because he is going to move to here. And I think I got 12 points there. Now we want to save those. No, it doesn't make any difference to save them. Can they see? I think they can. Yeah, they can. How much have we got there? We got 6, 18. 18, so flip those guys. And flip one of those guys to bring it to 24. Wouldn't make any difference throwing another guy in. I'm not going to be able to get it to 4-1 odds unless I threw a 5th guy in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's barely in range. Yeah, he could. Yeah, all right, let's go ahead and throw him in. And him in. That's going to be, what, 36? Yeah, that's going to be 36 to 8. That is going to be a 4-1 odds. And that's a 4. It's going to kill him. Yeah, now we're only down to 1 for parity. Good job, Devin. Good job running those infantry up there. Dumbass. All right, I think that's it for shooting. So basically, now we've got movement. What are we going to do with these guys over here, movement-wise? Now, I was thinking of doing some overruns, but that takes 2 movement points to overrun, and they're down to half movement already. So basically, they've got 2 movement points. So I can move 2 movement points, but that'll draw op fire, not like those T-34s. But I need to get these guys out of there because they're within the sweet spot for the Egyptians. They're at the range 2 is when their firepower gets doubled. So we need to skedaddle these guys back a little bit. But that's still going to draw op fire. And even if, well, let's see, that's 7, 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 7 is 56. Wow. I could easily get a 3-1 shot off on one of them. And I'd have to move here to get away from the range, and I'd only be able to get one of... Yeah, you know what? It's not even worth it, because if I go here, he'll op fire at double strength here, which would be 7, 14, 20, 41 to 50. It'd be 2-1 odds. I can move one guy here, and they would be out of range, but I could probably catch, you know, like I said, the what? 21, the lots. I'm just going to leave it at that. The 56, I think it was. If I move here, these guys will be doubling. Nah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and keep these guys here. So we'll flip them to mark them as done. All right, into the movement phase. Roll for disruption. So these guys are all A class. I think I've only got one armored over here. So that's going to be a 1 through 5 to rally them. 6, wonderful. Okay, we got 3 infantry here. They're going to need 4. Start at the top and go down. 1, good. 2 is a 5, not good. And 3 is a 2. All right. So 2 recover, but 1 does not. I've got 1 guy there, which is a 4, which he recovers. And then this guy here, again, 4, does not recover. And then the 2 right there is a 3, recovers. And a 3 recovers. Alrighty. One of those guys. Yeah, I thought those were the machine gun platoons. All right, so now movement. And we want to overrun some stuff. I think what we want to do is we're going to start off, let's see, 1, 2, 3 to move in. Which one should I start off with? Let's start off with these guys. So you move them just like any other. You move them one at a time. Let the opponent have a chance to do op fire. And I believe I've got an anti-tank gun, but it's dispersed there. Okay, there's the other anti-tank gun. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's got the range. It's 15 to 11, so it's going to be 1 to 1. And that's a 2, which is going to disperse it. But that's the only anti-tank gun that the Egyptians have left over here. Pretty much nothing else they have is going to hurt them, well, infantry-wise, unless you get within 2 hexes. But everything's either fired or dispersed. All right, so he's going to move up next. And I do not believe, yeah, everybody who can hurt him has either already op-fired or is dispersed. So he gets there just fine. And we'll just go ahead and cock him a little bit like that. Again, same here and the same here. Now, once all the attackers are in position, then you go ahead and spend 2 extra movement points. So we've already spent 1 point moving those armor there. Then you spend 2 extra movement points to move into this location. If you don't have the movement points, then you can't do it. So where you go ahead and do it, it's going to be 22 times 3. Actually, it's 22 halved because armor piercing versus... And let's see if the overrun. Overrun armored. Oh. Am I reading that right? Oh. I was reading it backwards. All right. Overrun. Armor piercing versus non-armored targets is actually normal for the overrun. So, there you go. So we got 22 times 3 is 66. Now this is combined versus all the units in the stack. So there's 3 units there. At 8, 16, 24 to 66. We're actually looking at a 2 to 1 odds. But since it is a overrun, you shift the odds column 1 favor in 1 column shift in favor. It's going to be a 3 to 1, and you subtract 2. Now, I'm not sure about the fortification. Or not the fortification, because you can't assault fortified. If the improved positions add their defensive value. Let's check improved positions real quick. Okay, if the unit is attacked by opportunity fire just as it expends, the movement does not get the benefit of being in the improved. Okay. Once placed, improved IPs cannot be moved nor removed. Each unit defending an improved position has 2 added to its CRT. If a unit is attacked by opportunity fire, it's not attacked by opportunity fire. So let's take a look at the op fire rules. Or not op fire, overrun. After all units have moved into position, all the attacking units simultaneously expend 2 movement points to execute the attack. To execute the attack, must meet the following criteria. Only units with overrun capabilities, and I already checked them, they're indicated on the unit function table, may make overrun attacks. Adjacent to the defending unit, cannot attack if it was inverted, may not make an overrun if it moves at the road rate. Oh, did not know that. A unit may not make an overrun attack if it moves at the road rate at any time during the movement phase. Any of the defending units have type A. Only A weapon type attackers may attack. Okay, that makes sense. Certain types of infant of terrain. I am going to say, let's see. Oh, improved positions and being dispersed affect the dice roll. Hold down. Shielding does not affect the dice roll. All right. So, long way around to get into that. Okay. So, IP... Oh, jeez, I just read it, too. Oh, God. I got sleep last night, honestly. Okay, overrun. Okay, IPM being dispersed affects the dice roll. Okay, so we got 6. It's going to be 2-to-1 odds, 3-to-1 for the overrun, plus 2 for the improved positions, minus 2 for the overrun, another minus 1 because one of the units is dispersed. And I believe that that one unit being dispersed pulls the penalty to them all. So 3-to-1 minus 1. A lot of 6s. 6 is a 5, which I believe is just a normal disruption on the. It's 24, 60, 20. Yeah, 2-to-1, 3-to-1. 5 is just a normal disruption. All right, so. Those guys end up all becoming dispersed. Now, what happens to the... Do they move in? What happens after the attack? Overrun. Huh. It doesn't say what happens to the attacking units. Overrun units. Overruns are executed during the friendly movement phase. Now, I know what happened in Panzer Blitz and Panzerleader. They would just automatically be put on the other side. There was a bunch of rules for that. Attacking units which do not have, in order to execute an overrun capability, blah, 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 blah. Okay, dead air, yes, I know. Huh. Now let's take a look under the advanced rules, if there's anything under the advanced rules. I don't think so. I think my guys actually stay right here and don't push through. That is really odd, because I know in Panzerleader that if you do an overrun, you need to make sure the hex on the other side is clear, but we don't have that in this rule set. Huh. Okay. I'm going to have to check that, but I will do that off camera. And just let me go ahead and 1, 2, 3. Nobody can op fire at them, so these guys are going to move up as well. All right, that's going to be 66, but we've got 1 infantry, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to 66. That's going to be 4-to-1 odds, which is going to be 5-to-1. Is it a column shift or just column up? Because if it's a column shift, then it goes to 7-to-1 odds. Oh, it is one's odds column. So the 4-to-1 goes to the 7-to-1's column, which there actually is in Panzerleader, or not in Panzerleader. Panzerleader, Panzerblitz, it only went up to 4-to-1, and Arab-Israeli Roys, they now have the 7-to-1. So it's going to be 7-to-1 plus 2 for the improved position, minus 2 for the overrun, minus another 1 for a disrupted unit in there. So 7-to-1 minus 1, regardless of what I roll, it's going to kill them all. So that is going to wipe them out. And the improved position remains, and the armor moves through, or moves into the hex. At least I'm going to assume that what happened. Like I said, I really need to check the overrun rules, but I want to get through this, at least this half of the turn first. Actually, These guys will get flipped over. And that's going to be it for movement. Now, at the end of movement, I always forget that. Is it the end of firing or is it the end of movement? Yeah, all undispersed counters at the end of movement are flipped right side up. So that's the state of the game. At the end of the Egyptian turn 4, go ahead and flip these guys back over. And like I said, I'm going to pause real quick before we step into the Egyptian turn, because I do want to check on those overrun rules real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'll be honest. Going through the rules, I can't see anything about overrun attackers, occupying a position, moving through the position, anything like that. Because of that, I'm going to assume that they don't. Plain and simple. I can't use Panzerleiter Panzerblitz rules for that. I'm just going to have to go with what is written in the book. So I'm going to assume that the attack, my overrun attack here did wipe them out. However, I don't get to occupy the position because rules have nothing about that. And I should also point out that the -1 dice roll modifier for being disrupted only affects the unit that is disrupted. You only apply that modifier to that unit, not to the entire stack. I don't think that really had an effect on either stack, so I'm not going to worry about going back and changing that. However, we are going to step into Egyptian turn 4. Air attacks, no air attacks. Let's go with artillery. And like I said, I think the artillery is all going to light here. Let's see, we got Y, 8, 9, Y, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's going to get hit. Z8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that's bad. And Y7 got hit with the mortars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right here. Okay, so those two stacks got hit with 13 firepower. Now this is indirect versus armored for one stack. And we have indirect fire versus armored is going to be halved, and against non-armored is going to be normal. So 13 is going to be 7.5 to an 11, 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. All right. So it's going to be 1 to 2 for those three. So we'll do those three first. 1 is going to disrupt 1. 3 is going to be nothing. Third one is going to be 6, which is nothing. Now this one was already disrupted. Is that infantry armor? That is armor. So it's a -1. So it's 1 to 2, -1. 5 is a 4 is nothing. All right. So the Israeli attack is definitely getting bogged down, much worse than I had expected them to. And so we've got 13 dropping on these guys. It's going to be 1 to 1 for him, 1 to 1 for him, and 1 to 1 -1 for the dispersed guy. So we'll do the undispersed ones first. First one, 6 is nothing. 4 is nothing. And -1. 1 -1 is 0. Uh-oh. 0. On the 1 to 1 is a special disrupted, and they are already disrupted, so that is an elimination. Yeah, you remember those 3 units that I was talking about having to kill them off, or having to kill to give them that? Yeah, they're at parity now. They got there. Was not a good turn for the Egyptians or for the Israelis. All right, artillery. Now this is going to be kind of tricky because we don't know where they're going to end up. We know they're only going to move 1 hex because that's as far as infantry can move. So it's going to really, these guys here really it's just going to be right around here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go with 8 and 9 again. Z8, what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're dispersed. They could be dispersed next turn. Yeah, let's leave that artillery there. And let's actually shift the mortars. Even if they move, yeah, they could move at road rate to there. So yeah, we're just going to keep the artillery. We're just going to keep the Egyptian artillery. zeroed in because the Israeli infantry could move in on it. All right, now we got Gershooting. And honestly, I don't think there's anything down here. I think everything op fired last turn and isn't in range or can even see anything. So I think the Egyptians there are all done. Now, over here, this is where the fun's going to be. So my two biggies, my last few surviving T10s and SU-100s are dispersed. And we definitely want to fire on this unit because we're within the 2 hexes, so we'll get the doubled firepower. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 7 is 35, doubled is 70. 70 to 15. Do I need to expend that much? Because I only need to get to 60 for it to be 4-to-1 odds. You know what? Let's go with these 3 guys. And 3, 4, 5. 7 times 5, 35 doubled to 70. Yeah, okay, we'll go with those 5 guys to get 1 unit, which is going to be 4-to-1 odds. And since it is going to be crossing a bit, you know what? Let's just do these 3 guys first against one. Or there's only 2. 7, 14, it'd be 28 to 15, which is 1-to-1, which isn't really worth it. 14, 28. So many numbers, I have to do the math again. 5, 35, 70, 4-to-1. Yeah, all right. So we're going to go ahead and these 5 guys against one of those guys at +2 for being hold down, going because some of the fire is going across the dune line. It's going to be +2 for that. So 5, 6, 7, which is probably one of the best dice rolls for the Israelis he could have rolled. 4-to-1, 7, still a disrupted though. So one of those guys is going to be disrupted, dispersed, whatever. 7, 14, 21, 42 to 15 is going to be 2-to-1. Yeah, 2-to-1 +2 against the other one. We got a 3, 4, 5 on a 2-to-1. That's going to be disrupted. Yep, that's going to be disrupted. The Egyptians are actually putting up a hell of a lot stronger fight. I was fairly certain by this point those Centurions were going to have shattered the Egyptians. But that is not the case, it seems. Either I'm better at running the Arabs than I thought, or my dice rolls have just been crap. One of the two. Or I'm worse at running the Israelis than I thought. Again, a possibility. All right, end of firing phase. Roll for disruption. Now these guys are C class, which is going to need a 1 through 3 to undisrupt. So we got that SU. He does not. That's a bad thing. And I know I've got another one here. Yep, that T10 right there, 1 through 3. Ah, he makes it out. That's going to be problematic. Yeah, maybe not. Egyptians or the Israelis will just shoot him again next turn. We got a bunch of disrupted units over here. We got 3 guys right there. Their C class is going to be 1 to 3, but they're in improved position, so it's going to make it a 4. So top to bottom, 1 is good. 2 not. 3 good. All right, so 1 guy remains. Shift that there. And we got... Oh, yeah. Oh, no, they don't get flipped yet. So 1 guy there. At 1 to 4. No, the mortar stays. These guys, really need to get some tweezers. Well, I have tweezers, but I don't have the good tweezers. My hand blocks the camera. Nobody disrupted in there. Nobody disrupted there. Nobody disrupted there. And nobody disrupted there. All right, so that's all for the disrupted. You know what I mean. Jeez. Yes, that's my conscience talking to me saying, dumbass, you're pronouncing it wrong. You're using the wrong word. Okay. So actually, that is going to be it for shooting. Now on to moving. We got nothing over there. Nobody's going to move. And really the only things left to move here is these guys. We'll have him jump into there. And we'll have these two guys move there. I'm not going to bother flipping them. These guys are going to move into there. And that's going to be it for movement. And everything's going to get flipped over. I'm obviously not going to get another turn in for this shoot because we're, closing on 45 minutes already. The game has actually gotten closer than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I think we're going to have to at least go one more turn. And then I'll worry about figuring out victory points and odds at that point. But yeah, it turns over, so the Egyptian units get flipped back over. And I can finish doing the rest of this off camera. You don't need to sit here and watch me flip these guys over with my big fat fingers. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms in the comment section. And I'll see everybody next time. See ya.